Hi friends, today we are going to be adding color and shading to our fruit portrait. Last time we drew the head and shoulders of our fruit portrait, and I told you could pick between those 3 fruits or vegetables for your head and shoulders. Again, I'm going to remind you, don't worry, we're going to be adding a lot more different types of fruits and vegetables that you can pick from for those facial features. Now, some of you might have picked pumpkins or pineapples or watermelons, and you picked the combination that you wanted. This one I chose a watermelon for the head and a pumpkin for the shoulders. The first thing we're going to do to add color is we are going to be using markers to trace the outline of our fruit or vegetables so that we get a nice dark outline and it really stands out so we don't lose those details. But please make sure that it's the correct color of that fruit or vegetable. So for my pumpkin, I'm going to use yellow. For my watermelon, I'm going to use green. For your pineapple, you'll use brown for the oval part. Now I do have some of these little stems that I'm going to make sure that I use brown. And for your pineapple, you want to make sure that you trace this with green. Now we're not coloring it in. We're going to be coloring with either your colored pencils or crayons to get that shading. We're just tracing the outline. So I'm going to start by tracing my pumpkin. And I'm just going to trace over top of that pencil line just so we get a nice dark outline and it really stands out. A lot of times we use our Sharpie for this. But since we're going to be doing shading, I thought we would use the color of the actual fruit or vegetable. And markers have a nice bold color to them. Now I'm going to trace my watermelon. I'm also going to trace those wavy lines that go from the top to the bottom of my watermelon. Again, if you were not here last class and you did not get to sketch your head and shoulders with a pencil, there is the video on your Schoology page of the presentation. You are more than welcome to look at that and get all caught up. So now I'm going to trace the stem, and those little details, the stem up here. I'm going to make that vine green as well. Okay. So now I have everything traced and I'm ready for my shading. Now you can use colored pencils. Colored pencils work really well. I'm going to be using crayons because I know a lot of people have crayons to use. So I'm going to go into my crayon box and I'm looking for different shades of the colors that I need. So for my pumpkin, I see a dark orange. It's called red orange. And I see a lighter orange called yellow orange. And I'm also going to grab a yellow. Okay, so those are the 3 colors I'm going to use to shade my pumpkin. I'm also going to take out a brown because I know I'm going to use that for the stems. And then for my watermelon, I'm going to use a dark green, light green, and I'm actually going to use, this is a great color. This is like kind of like green yellow. It's the lightest one we're going to use for the center. Okay, for your pineapple, what you would do is you would use a dark brown and a light brown for the center, and I will be doing that shading as well. Okay, so now I'm going to start with my pumpkin. I'm going to start with the darkest color on the outside, and as I get closer to the center, it's going to get lighter. Same with the watermelon. Start with your dark, and as it gets closer to the center, it's going to get to your lightest color. And I make sure that I overlap those colors so that they blend really well, and they don't just look like these stripes of colors. So I'm actually also, when I'm coloring, I'm going to press hard. And then as I get closer to the center, I'm going to press lighter too. That's also another form of shading, not just with different colors already mixed for you, but how hard you press. You can make a lighter color. And so I'm just going to do one portion of that pumpkin. Okay, again, I'm pressing hard. And I'm getting lighter as I go in. Now I'm going to take that, oh, I should go in here a little bit because I did it on the other one too. Okay. So now I'm going to take my lighter orange. I'm going to go over top of a little bit of that dark orange just to blend them a little bit. And I'm going to bring it in to the center, but I'm going to leave a little bit of space in the center for my lightest color there. Okay? Same thing for this side. I want to overlap those colors just a little bit. I'm not going all the way to the edge. And again, you can do the same thing where you press hard and then get lighter as you go in. Okay. And again, guys, colored pencils work just the same as long as you have those different shades. You can do exactly what I'm doing with colored pencils. I'm just doing it with crayons. Now, I'm going to go back over with that dark orange. I'm really lightly going to press in here just to do a little bit more shading. I really want those colors to kind of blend into each other. Okay? Now I'm going to take that yellow that I have, and I'm going to put it in the center. Now, it's going to look a little goofy right now, and the blending's not going to look really great right away, but we're going to fix that. Okay? So I'm going to take my light orange again, and now I'm going to take it and I'm going to lightly press over top of my yellow to just create an even lighter yellow. Okay? Awesome. And then we have our shading where it looks like it fades from dark to light inside of our pumpkin. Now I am going to color my brown stem. What I like to do for this, because it's such a small space, I press hard on the outside and then I press lighter on the inside, just to give it a little bit of dimension here. Okay. All right, now we're on to our watermelon. So again, I'm going to start with my darkest color on the outside. I'm going to start with that dark green. Okay. Just a little bit, I'm not going too far. And then again on this side. And again, you can press hard closer to the edge to get an even darker green. All right, now I'm going to take my lighter green. And again, just like I did the pumpkin, I'm going to color a little over top of that dark green, making sure that I'm leaving a space in the center for that lightest yellow green. It's even lighter than this one. I'm going to go back over with my dark green and just blend it a little bit more because I don't want it to look like stripes. Okay. Now I'm going to take that green yellow and I'm going to color in the center here. It's a nice color. Color in that center. And I'm also going to take my light green and I'm going to go over top and blend it just so it doesn't look like a stripe. Okay? A little bit more. Okay, and so it looks like you faded from dark to light here. Okay, and I'm also going to take that brown and color in the stem. Now, if you have a pineapple, I'll show you that real quick. I'm going to trace that pineapple because pineapple is yellow on the inside, but it's actually brown on the outside. Okay. I'm going to trace all those lines too. And make curved. And I'm also going to take my green and I'm going to trace those little spiky things at the top. Okay. Now for the leaves, since I already have my greens out here, I might take a light green and a dark green. I like to create a little bit of a shadow on some of my leaves on the one side. And then I'm going to color the rest of it light green. Or if you just want to color it all dark green, that's okay too. And I might go back with my dark green and just kind of blend it in a little bit more. Just doing it really lightly. Okay. All right, now I'm going to look at my crayon box again. I know I have a dark brown, and it looks like, I'm going to pull out the black here. Doesn't look like there's a light brown. So what we're going to do is, instead of using 3 different colors, we're just going to be using the brown and press hard and then get lighter in the middle. I might use a little bit of black just to darken up the sides a little bit more, but I've got to be careful. So I don't want to make it too dark. So I'm going to press really hard on the edges, and as I get closer to the center, I'm going to get lighter. Okay, and same on this side. I'm going to press hard on the sides here, and then as I get closer to the center, I'm going to get lighter. Okay, and you know what, I'll add just a little bit of black just to make the shadow a little bit darker on the edge, but I'm doing it super lightly. You probably can't even see it. Super, super lightly. Just to add a little bit of a shadow there, just because all we had was the brown. Okay, and that is how you do the shading for your head and your shoulders. Now you are ready to start adding facial features using different fruits and vegetables.